30 ways to prank your friends with commands in Minecraft. All the commands will be down in the description. Number 1, no diamonds. Finding diamonds is arguably the most satisfying thing in Minecraft because it is the first step to becoming a real pro. But it would be really annoying if you spent hours and hours of mining never to find a single diamond. Now if you paste the first command that is down in the description into a repeating command block, your friend will never find a single diamond ore because as soon as they get close to one, it will turn to lapis. Number 2, no iron. This is essentially the same as the first prank, except that instead of turning diamonds into lapis, this one turns iron ore into diamond ore. Now at first you may think this is not a prank because they'll find a ton more diamonds. But the problem is they will never find iron, and without iron, diamond ore is useless. In a way, this is worse than the first one, because on top of not getting the iron, you essentially can't get any diamonds as well. Number 3, where did my diamonds go? This prank is probably even more cruel than the first one, because it doesn't prevent you from finding diamonds, it just takes them away from you. Now I would suggest you put this command on a redstone clock so that it will slowly just clear away one diamond at a time, which is far less noticeable than if you were to take them all at once. Their face when they notice that their hard-earned diamonds have just magically disappeared will be priceless. Number 4, is that a zombie? You know that feeling when you hear those eerie zombie noises behind you, but you can never find where the zombie is? I know personally that can just drive you crazy. This command will play the zombie noise directly behind the player, so it is probably best that you type it in the chat manually or put it in a pretty long redstone clock. Your friend will probably spend plenty of time trying to figure out where the noise is coming from. Number 5, the random zombie. Now, that one thing worse than hearing the random zombie behind you is probably finding an actual zombie behind you. Now, like with the previous prank, either manually type this in the chat or put it on a slow redstone clock, and every now and then a zombie will appear right behind them. This is a great prank because they will never see it appear behind them, but it will annoy them because no matter how much they spawn-proof or light up the area, there will always be that annoying zombie. Number 6, hiss. This is bound to make your friend panic a bit. Like with the zombie noises, it will play a noise, but this time it will play that creeper hissing noise. Immediately, the first thing that comes to your mind is that there's going to be an explosion, but it is just a sound. Your friend will probably figure it out if you do it too often, so use this wisely and don't let them catch on. Number 7, boom. I don't think this one needs much explanation, but it is exactly like the real zombie prank, but instead it summons a creeper. It's safe to say there's bound to be an explosion sooner or later, but once again, use this wisely and don't use it too often or they will catch on to the prank. Number 8, that hurt. Put this command on a redstone clock and your friend will get bursts of damage. It will be very confusing and they might wonder as to what they might be stepping on that is hurting them. This could also be used at night and they might think something is attacking them. Try and use this in a context that makes sense, for example when they're walking near berry bushes or near magma blocks, because if they are just randomly getting bursts of damage when they are somewhere safe like their own home, they might think it's a little suspicious. Number 9, everything is powerful. Fighting mobs is something that everyone's done, at least in the early stages of the game, and it can be very frustrating when there are just too many for you to defeat. Well, it would be even worse if they had extra strength. Paste the command for this prank in a repeating command block and all the mobs will have double strength. Your friend will be very confused as to why their armor isn't doing much. Number 10, I can't kill it. Essentially the same as the previous prank, but instead of strength, they get regeneration. Again, it'll be very frustrating when your sword doesn't do much damage. This, in combination with the previous prank, could be even more difficult. Number 11, random fire. Fire can be very annoying, and it can be catastrophic if you live in a wooden house. This command will make any wooden plank that your friend steps on start on fire. You can put this on a repeating command block, but I would suggest that you put it on a clock so the fire is a little more random and less noticeable. Before they know it, they will have a big fire on their hands, and they won't be able to put it out. Number 12, Herobrine? Most people know that Herobrine is just a legend, but many people still would like to believe that he can hack your game. By typing this command in the chat, a join message will appear saying Herobrine has joined the game. This could freak anybody out, and your friend might think their world got hacked. Number 13, watch out for lava. Nobody likes running into a lava lake when mining, and way too often it ends up in you falling in lava along with all your items. Now by pasting this command in a repeating command block, it will replace all nearby granite with lava, resulting in far more lava lakes and many of them being close to the surface. It is safe to say that losing all your items in lava will happen quite regularly. Number 14. No drops. Mob loot can be very helpful, especially in the early game, but it can also be very useful later on for massive mob farms or iron farms. Removing this would be very annoying for your friend, and you could do this just by typing /game rule mob loot false in the chat, and boom, there will be no more mob loot. Number 15. A rainy day. Rain, although it isn't necessarily dangerous, can be very annoying and overall isn't very nice. Usually the rain would pass within a matter of minutes, but by just pasting this command in a repeating command block, the rain will never pass. And on top of it being annoying, mobs will not burn in daylight. This will overall be very demotivating to do anything above ground. Number 16. How did I get here? This prank is only going to work once, but it will be very funny while it lasts. Just paste this command once in the chat, and the next time they die, they will respawn hundreds of blocks in the air, with absolutely nothing they can do to survive the fall. Make sure you don't do this command while they are in or nearby water, because they will be able to survive the landing and the prank will be ruined. Number 17. Angry pets. Taming a horse is always a satisfying moment in Minecraft, because not only does it allow you to travel a lot faster, it also gives you a friend who will always be with you and you can take care of. But if you paste this command in a repeating command block, all horses will never be able to be tamed, making your friend really confused and disappointed that no matter how many times they right-clicked on the horse, it just keeps kicking them off. Number 18. Where are the villagers? Especially in the endgame, villagers are super useful. You can make tons of cool things such as villager breeders, villager trading halls, and villager crop farms. And it is really annoying when you come back to your base to find that all your villagers have either been killed or somehow glitched out due to some visual bugs. Now if you put this command in a command block, it will instantly kill any villagers that they get too far away from. It will be an unpleasant surprise for them to come back to find all their farms and trading halls all messed up. Number 19. Random gravel. World generation errors such as this or this happen quite a lot and can sometimes just be really annoying to the point that you have to destroy or alter them to look more natural. But a random gravel block that just happens to be sitting on the ground is on a whole nother level of annoying. This can be done by just pasting the command in a pretty long redstone clock, and every now and then a gravel block will fall from the sky, and usually the player will not notice, unless they are looking up of course. And if your friend is a perfectionist and likes to keep everything neat and tidy, this is sure to drive them crazy. Number 20. Dark caves. Mining is something we always have to do because materials and ores have such an important role in the game. Often you use torches not only to light up the way, but also to mark your way back to where you started because it is so easy to get lost. Now with this prank you will actually need 2 commands, but trust me, it will be worth the extra command block for the result. Just paste both of these commands each into a repeating command block, and as soon as your friend looks away from a torch, it will disappear, leaving the caves dark and full of mobs. And when your friend comes back trying to find their way back, there will be no torches to guide their way. Number 21. Too many bushes. In the 1.14 update, along with many other things, berry bushes were added to Minecraft. Although they do bring a good thing, which is sweet berries, they also bring a bad thing, which is that they deal damage when you walk through them. And since they look so much like the surrounding grass, stumbling onto them is really not that difficult. By pasting this command into a repeating command block, all the nearby grass around your friend will turn into berry bushes, making it a lot more difficult to travel through land that would have been just full of grass. Now with this one, I suggest that you use it in a context that makes sense, like in a forest rather than on a field, where there is less contrast with the grass. It is really up to you where and how you want to use it, but under the right conditions, this can be perfect. Number 22. Creepy caves. I think everyone can agree that those random cave ambient noises in Minecraft are pretty spooky. Those sounds can also be played manually using the command for this prank. Under the right conditions, like when it's night out, this can really spook your friend out. You could just type this manually in the chat or put it on a redstone clock, but don't play it too often or the effect won't be as creepy. Number 23. Who's there? This is basically the same as the previous prank, except that instead of a creepy ambient noise, there is a closing door sound. You know, the sound that plays when you close a door. Now this isn't exactly creepy, but it can be very confusing, especially if there isn't a door nearby. And even if there is a door, or even many doors around, they might think someone is lurking about their base, but they are just unable to find them. Number 24. A close call. There have been far too many times that I have been so close to making it back to my base after a night of fighting mobs, when just one lonely skeleton had to ruin it by dealing the last blow right outside my front door. And it is never fun to hear an arrow whiz right by you and hit a nearby tree. Now for this prank, all you need is to activate this command every now and then, which will play the sound an arrow makes when it hits a block. This will definitely make your friend wonder as to where a skeleton could be hiding. If they are very low on health, it could really make them panic, and maybe make them end up in some worse situation like ending up in lava. Now you could put this on a redstone clock, but I would suggest you type it in the chat manually because it might not make sense, for example, if they are in water, because there would be no block for an arrow to hit. So use this only when it makes sense. Number 25, lag. Okay, let's face it, no matter what kind of computer you have experienced lag at least sometimes during your gameplay. In some cases, the lag can be worse than others, but no matter in what situation you are, it is never fun to be getting 15 frames per second. Now this command does something pretty clever that kind of simulates little lag spikes. Just put this in a repeating command block, but also put it on a redstone clock like this, so the repeating command block only gets powered by the clock. This will teleport the player to themselves in sudden bursts and simulate lag spikes, and it can also cause a lot of block glitches that can end in some pretty bad results. To give you an idea of how it looks, I have stepped into the shoes of your friend here, and you can see just how annoying this can be. Number 26, a long way up. With the pretty recent addition of the scaffolding block, building very big or tall structures is now a breeze. These new blocks are very easy to get, easy to build, and most importantly easy to destroy because most of them are connected to just a single block at the bottom that makes the whole thing come down in one big mess of items. We can take advantage of this by breaking a scaffolding block many blocks lower than your friend, using a pretty simple command that will send the entire scaffolding flying down along with your friend. Just put this command in a repeating command block, and no matter how much they try, they will just never be able to climb that thing without falling apart and then most likely falling to their death. Number 27, missing Tridents. Tridents are actually really hard to get in Minecraft and require a lot of dedicated drowned hunting or a really good mob farm to do it. But once gotten, they are really powerful in both short range and long range attacks. When you throw them, you can pretty easily get them back unless you are a noob and you throw them into the void or into some lava. But when these do happen, in my opinion far too often, it can be really disappointing. Now I think you can already tell where I'm going with this one. By pasting the command into a repeating command block, all Tridents will be killed, and the next time your friend throws one, they might spend hours trying to find it until they finally give up and rage quit. But make sure you don't accidentally kill your own Trident, because this will affect all Tridents, not just your friends. Number 28, missing arrows. I don't really know how much of a prank this is because it really depends on the player. I personally never go chasing after an arrow that I shot, but I don't know, maybe some people do. In any case, this command kills any arrow that hits a block, so if your friend does chase after their arrows, they just will never find it. This one is probably just a lot more confusing than actually annoying, but still, give it a try and see how your friend reacts. Number 29, who sheared the sheep? This one is probably more weird than an actual prank, because with this command in a repeating command block, it will make all sheep already sheared. I honestly don't know what else to say for this one, just give it a go and see what happens. Number 30, slow motion. Now this one in my opinion is by far the most devastating prank in this entire video. Just by typing /gamerule random tick speed 0 in the chat, you have just ruined everything. Nothing will grow anymore, which means all those saplings your friend planted will stay the way they are. All that dirt will never become grass, and no farms will work. Like I said, with this command, you really can ruin everything. So there you have 30 amazing pranks for you to try out. And if you have any questions about these, or you need help because one of them isn't working, or if you just want to leave a suggestion for one I did not include in the video, feel free to leave a comment down below and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. Also, check out the description for all the commands I mentioned in this video, as well as the links to my Instagram and Discord. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.